What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are looking at 5 players that have the most to prove for the Detroit Lions in 2020 because it could be their last year in Detroit. Let's get it started. Welcome, everybody, to another video. Glad you guys are here. And because you clicked on the video, you guys are going to get a little bit of a bonus. Yes, because you are here, not only are you going to get 5 players, but you're actually going to get 6 players with an honorable mention. Plus, you're also going to get 2 people. Now, I'm not going to say who those 2 people are. I have a good feeling you guys can guess who those guys are. I'm not going to say it, but I guess we'll get there when we get there. But before we get started, let's go check out the comment of the video. I also have a question that I didn't write down, but I'll ask you guys. The comment of the video is this: wouldn't care if you did a vid on the toilet. Great vids, buddy. William Perkins. Shout out to William Perkins, man. That comment was awesome. I love that. I saw that. I was like, yes, that is whiteboard worthy. That sounds fire. That is a quote. Whiteboard worthy. Like, you know how they say blimp worthy? This is whiteboard worthy, okay? That's our new thing over here. That's our slogan. Dose of DN 2.0, whiteboard worthy. Oh, snap. Okay, we're creating stuff here. No, but seriously, this was whiteboard worthy because it was great. He's probably referring to the video I did in the car when the Detroit Lions released Travis Fulgham. Yes, I do apologize that I had to do that in the car. And you know what, William? I appreciate it. I feel like sitting on the toilet doing a video would just be too far. You know, there's just a line. And no one crosses that line. It's an imaginary line, but everybody knows it's there. I just don't know if I want to take it past that line. I feel like we've been close. We have recorded in a bathroom. I'm not proud of it, but we have, because it was breaking news. However, I feel like breaking news is breaking news. But if I can wait 5 more minutes and maybe not be on the toilet, I think I would rather have that kind of video. I'm just saying. I know some people probably don't want to know about that. I'm just being honest, okay? I'd probably rather wait just the 5 minutes and then be like, okay, now let's do it. Go somewhere else. Go outside. Go to a closet. Something. Just don't be on the toilet. That's just, you know what, though? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. If the news is that big, if it's that big of breaking news, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You got to make it happen. But hopefully it never comes to that. Shout out to William for that comment. I love it. Now let's get into today's video. So I just want to lay this out there right now. I'm not rooting for any of these guys to get cut. Okay, I don't think any of these guys are going to get cut for this season. I think they're all going to be on the team. I'm just simply saying that these guys have a lot to prove this season because their futures with the Detroit Lions are completely up in the air. Not their futures in the NFL, just with the Detroit Lions, because there's a lot of question marks surrounding these players. There's also a lot of similarities. Forgot the question of the video is this. Let me know in the comment section below, what is your favorite, not your movie, favorite TV show of all time? Your favorite TV show of all time. That's a hard one for me. I have a lot of TV shows that I like. I think SpongeBob's got to be up there, though. I had to represent today. I think SpongeBob has to be up there. Consistency is key, and SpongeBob has that. So let me know in the comment section below. Now let's get into today's video. Let's hop in at number 5. Yes, we have not done a top 5 list in a long time. I know there's 8 people, but we're just going to do 1 through 5. Then I'll name the honorable mention, then we'll get to the 2 people. Okay, coming in at number 5, we have kick returner / punt returner, Jamal Agnew. Yes, Jamal Agnew comes into the top 5. Now, he comes in at the bottom of the top 5 because while I don't think he maybe has much to prove as some of these other guys, it's definitely a big year for him. One of the main reasons being is that he is on the final year of his contract. Any player on the final year of his contract all of a sudden has to play well, right? It's a big year no matter what. And Jamal Agnew, who got benched last season, yeah, he needs to have a nice year. See, Jamal Agnew's never had a problem with being explosive, and the Detroit Lions even want to put him on the offense. They want to try to make him receiver. That's never been a concern with Jamal Agnew. The concern with Agnew is this. He struggled at the cornerback position, so he hasn't given us a role there. So his job is kick returner, punt returner. You are a special team specialist. Special team specialist, is that a thing? That's what he is. However, when you get benched at that because you can't hold on to the football, you're fumbling, and you're losing confidence, all of a sudden, your role is completely in jeopardy. Because if you can't do multiple things, you need to do what you do at a very high level. And Jamal Agnew usually does that. The problem is he has to know how to hold on to the football. That can't be a problem next season, at least consistently. Sure, it comes up time here and there, but it can't come up consistently. You can't get benched for that. That's a big problem. Because not only did the Detroit Lions bench you last season, but this offseason, they brought in guys that can replace you. Just like that, they can replace you. Now, they already have some guys that can fill in. Marvin Hall can fill in. We know he can play returner. Ty Johnson play returner. Danny Amendola play returner when Jamal Agnew, got benched. And then we draft Jason Hulley. We have guys that will take over that role already on the roster. Maybe we can go bring in someone else if you're not here next year. So, yes, you need to earn a contract extension. You need to make sure you hold on to the football. See, we don't know what your role is going to be offensively, and I think that will definitely help him because I think he will be a nice factor on offense, and I hope he does make the team this year. I just think he has a lot to prove next season, and simply just being consistent. Just do your best not to lose football. We know how explosive you are. And if we can rely upon you back there to catch the football and not fumble, we know we have a monster. We know we have a beast, and there's a reason we're trying to put you on the offensive side of the ball because you're explosive as heck. We want you on the team. Shout out to Jamal Agnew. Let's hop in to number 4. And at the number 4 spot, we have Deshaun Hand. Deshaun Hand comes in at number 4, the defensive lineman, the former 4th round pick out of Alabama. Deshaun Hand, man, I never thought I would put Deshaun Hand on here. And Deshaun Hand, you know what? He could be at number 5. You could almost not even put him on this list, but I had to have a top 5, so I needed 5 players. The thing with Deshaun Hand is this: he does have his contract through 2021. The big problem with Deshaun Hand, like another player we will see soon, is injuries. Deshaun Hand's injuries have really derailed his career so far with the Detroit Lions. His rookie year, it looked great. Kind of like another guy we're going to talk about soon. So that's why I put him on here. Rookie year looked great, things like that. But the injuries, back-to-back years, injuries have kept him off the field, has kept us from seeing what he can do on the field. If we don't know what you can do, how are we going to play? We saw glimpses as a rookie. But as they say, best ability is availability. Hopefully I said that right. For Deshaun Hand, we haven't seen him been available consistently, and that is a big, big problem. A team that's already had struggles getting pressure to the quarterback, we need you guys to find a way to be healthy. And I know, maybe you don't play in all 16 games, but it's just a big year health-wise. I know he has the talent. Like Jamal Agnew, I know Deshaun Hand has the talent. It just really does come down to, can he stay on the field? And while that's not completely in his control, it's unfortunate. That's just how the game works. I mean, it's all about that. You have to be a healthy player. You have to be on the field. And as unfortunate as it is, that's going to be big next season to see whether or not he can be on the field. I feel like he has to play in at least somewhere around 10 games. At least play 10 games for me, okay? You know what? You may miss some games here and there. That's okay. I get it. But if you can play in about 10 games, we know the talent will show itself. We know you fit on this team. You're really good for our scheme fit for Matt Patricia. So especially if Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn do return, I'd like you on a team. Bob Quinn drafted you. I'd like you on our team. I like you and how you fit in our defense. We just really need to see you healthy. I mean, that's really what it does come down to. Let's hop into the top 3. And at number 3, we have Jarrad Davis. Jarrad Davis, the former 2017 first-round pick out of Florida. Now, Jarrad Davis has had a problem ever since he came in the last couple of years. He hasn't been with the coach that drafted him. Technically, Bob Quinn drafted Jarrad Davis, but Jim Caldwell was the head coach when he drafted Jarrad Davis. Now with Matt Patricia in the building, he's trying to kind of, change his ways to a different scheme. And Jarrad Davis' strengths and weaknesses do not line up to what Matt Patricia needs defensively. Now, this offseason, Jarrad Davis put in the work. He said he worked out for about 20 weeks with about 2 weeks off. The dude looks like a monster. I mean, oh my gosh, he looks scary, right? He's a giant. We saw pictures of him running. The guy is scary. We know he's put in the work, okay? We know he's physically in shape, and now he's saying he's mentally in the right state of mind, but we need to find a really good role and a spot for him. I think that's the biggest question mark, is where is he going to be on the field? Because so far, I feel like we've played him at different spots. Sometimes he flashes and it's like, oh, there you go. Other times it's like, okay, I have no idea where to put this guy on the field. You also have inconsistencies with broken tackles. That's a big problem. Hopefully that clears up now that you've gotten even stronger. The athletic ability, never in question. Your mindset, your toughness, never in question. Jarrad Davis is the kind of guy that you want on your team. The big problem is we just really haven't been able to find a role. Now, if Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn are gone, maybe they bring him back. But you've already declined his 5th-year option. It's already the final year of his contract. He needs to have a good season. I'm not saying he has to be the best linebacker on the team. I'm not even saying he has to earn that starting role, because I don't think he'll have one. He just needs to find a role in the Lions defense. I mean, it's just like that. Whether that's putting him on the edge and making him more of a pass rusher, edge defender, as a guy that can set the edge for the Detroit Lions, or that's using him in the inside like, kind of he was drafted for, and continuing to use him in that role, and he can improve pass coverage. Because if he can improve in pass coverage, he's fine. I mean, he's got everything else. He's a run stuffer. He's fast. He can get to the quarterback. The big problem has been he has not been that good in pass coverage. So it's been, I don't know where to put him on defense. Matt Patricia struggled trying to find spots for him on the defense. Now he's played better in a smaller role when he's not been on there on passing downs. So hopefully that is the case next season with Jamie Collins and Johnny Tavai. I could see that. But we still need to find a role for Jarrad Davis. That's the biggest question mark from him. He's got pretty much everything else. That is the biggest question mark. Let's hop into number 2. And at number 2, we have Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker comes in all the way at number 2. On the final year of his deal, the former first-round pick back in 2016, Bob Quinn's first draft pick with the Detroit Lions, is on this list. Now, I feel like Taylor Decker's been better than some people give him credit for. It really depends on who you're talking to. Some people think Taylor Decker is complete trash. I don't see that. Taylor Decker, to me, among the middle of the pack when it comes to left tackles in the league. And left tackle position is not an easy spot to play. It's not easy to find a guy to fill in there. Offensive linemen are just tough to find in general. They are just really hard to find a consistent offensive lineman. And Taylor Decker, yes, he's shown some inconsistencies, but he really did bounce back after a sophomore slump. I mean, he's been I would say, slightly above average left tackle for the Detroit Lions. The real problem here is that he is on the final year of his deal. He's on the final year of his deal, and the Lions could, next year in the draft, use their first-round pick on the tackle if they wanted to. That is really the biggest question mark. I mean, if they can lock up Taylor Decker, this offensive line is looking really good for the future, so I want him to be locked up. for some reason, I just feel like there's a big concern on whether or not he's going to make the team. There's just a lot riding on next season for Taylor Decker. He knows it himself. He talked about it in an interview saying, hey, look, I can talk to my agent, talk about all the contract negotiations and whatnot, but if I don't play well next season, it won't matter. And that's the truth. He needs to play well next season so he can earn himself a role in the Detroit Lions for the future and continue to protect Matthew Stafford as this offensive line grows together. I love the foundation we have built here. I want him to succeed because I like what the offensive line looks like on paper, and I want it to continue to grow and get better together. He just needs to play well next season, okay? We can't see tons of inconsistencies from next year, okay? You need to keep Matthew Stafford on his feet. Taylor Decker comes in at number 2. Now, before we get into number 1, let's take a look at the honorable mention, which is Marvin Jones Jr. Now, I put him as honorable mention because I don't look at a guy like Marvin Jones Jr. and say, hey, you haven't done well enough to make the team. Marvin Jones has done way more than enough, way better than enough to make this team. The concern a little bit is injuries with a guy like Marvin Jones. His age is also a concern, and he's also in the final year of his deal. So I think for him, if he can stay healthy the whole year, I can see him trying to be brought back, and I also think it's how much he wants to get paid, right? How much is he looking for? What are teams willing to offer him in free agency is whether or not he will be back with the Detroit Lions. So that's why it's an honorable mention, not really on this list. I just thought it was an interesting one to throw in there, just an interesting take. But coming in number 1, you probably guessed it, it's Kerryon Johnson. Kerryon Johnson's got to be a number 1 for me. Kerryon, not even on the final year of his contract, but the injuries, back-to-back seasons with major injuries that has taken him out for basically half of each year is huge. I mean, he's basically missed a full year with the Detroit Lions because of injuries. And Kerryon Johnson, your rookie year, you showed you could be great. Like Deshaun Hand, very similar situation. You showed you could be great in your rookie year. And you even showed flashes last year. I know you can be great. But the Lions have not shown that they're afraid to go get a replacement. They have already taken the top running back in the draft, or what some people said was the top running back in the draft, and DeAndre Swift. They have the guys that are ready to replace you. They have Ty Johnson. They have Bo. They have Jason Huntley. They have guys if they want to replace you. So you need to play well next season. I think it really just comes down to you staying healthy. I think if you stay healthy like Deshaun Hand, it'll work itself out. You're talented enough to make the team. You bring a little bit of a different dynamic to the game than DeAndre Swift does. So that duo is great. Bob Quinn wants to have multiple running backs on the field. He wants to have a big group of running backs. He wants to do it by committee. So when I look at that, I see a guy Kerryon and say, hey, Kerryon, your future can be in Detroit if you can find a way to stay healthy. And again, even though it's not completely in his control, that's really, unfortunately, what it's probably going to come down to. Now, as we end this video, we're going to be looking at the 2 people. I'm sure you guys guessed it, all right? It's Bob Willis and John Franks, okay? Those 2 guys, what are they doing? No, I'm playing. Y'all are probably like, wait, what the heck are you talking about? I just said 2 random names. We're talking about Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn, okay? These guys have the most to prove next year. Because if these guys don't prove it next year, none of this really matters because they're not going to be making these decisions anyways. It'll be a new general manager and new head coach. All right, the Lions don't have to go win a Super Bowl. They don't even have to go win a playoff game. They have to be a playoff contender is what the letter says. We need to see improvement across the board from the Detroit Lions. And I do give credit to Matt Patricia for building the offense, and I like what Bob Quinn has done, and I like the additions he's made. But at the end of the day, it's a results business for those guys. Their stats are results. Matthew Stafford has his own stats, right? Kerryon's got his own stats. Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, their stats are what is your team doing on the field, okay? Matt Patricia, your job as head coach is to build a winning team. I don't care if your defense is great, your offense is great. I don't care as long as you're winning football games. Bob Quinn, your goal is to give Matt Patricia the pieces that he needs. You can work together with him to make this team successful. That's your goal. So their job is to win football games. Those are their stats. And if they're not successful, if they're not brought back, none of these players matter because we have no idea what their future looks like. Then it's up to the next guys to make that decision. But knowing what the Lions are looking for with Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn, those are the players that I feel like fit best on this list. I hope they are all back. I really, really do. I like every single one of these players. And all of these guys have the talent and they bring an impact to the team that the Lions need. And they can be very useful. I love all of these guys. They just need to prove it next year for the reasons that we mentioned. So there you go. Those are the 5 players plus 1 plus 2 people that have the most to prove in 2020 because it could be their final year in Detroit. Let me know other people you would put on this list, what kind of changes you would make. Thank you, Prime, for watching, and I'm out.